Hey guys, welcome back to Callus Crew Challenge 2, round of 32, which is the first round of the tournament. This is the first match in the set between the Sprinkles Fan Club, that's the team of Johnnyg2, and the Strawberry Sodas of Leo on the top. Real quick before we get too far into it, let me just speed through it. You want to see all the matches, including stuff that does not get narrated on YouTube? Join the Discord server. You want to support the tour? Join the Discord server and consider donating. There is a donation link and all the information that you need in the server. Where can you find the Discord server? Well, that would be in the description. So if you're interested in this tour, you want to watch it, you want to support it, check out that link, join the Discord server. Would really appreciate any support that you can offer. Now back to the match. As it turns out, ADV, unfortunately, for this ADV main narrator, was the least drawn tier in the entire tour. Somebody wrote out how many times every tier was drawn, and it's SV by far the most, with like 13 times, but there's only 7 potential ADV matches for the whole tour, which is far too few, and it makes me sad because I'm going to have to narrate a bunch of other stuff, but I hope you guys bear with me and enjoy the ADV and non-ADV content that we do get. Hopefully with the ADV, it is quality over quantity, and this one has the potential to be quality. We'll start with Johnny. He's on the bottom. You probably don't need too much introduction with him. Ladder hero turned tournament player. Was picked for SPL when he signed up, not this ongoing year, but last year. Started out 03, finished positive at 5-4. And he's also got back-to-back top 8 finishes, maybe even top 6 finishes in Callus Invitational the last 2 years. Consistent, highly regarded ADV player. Leo, on the other hand, in the previous SPL, not playing ADV, but put up an insane record. He went like X-1 over the course of the whole season, plus a round or two of playoffs. Went absolutely bananas. And as far as ADV, he went to over 1,700 on ladder. Was really hyped up within the tier for a little bit. Did get his shot in Callus Invitational play-ins and did not make it out. I think he actually lost in the first round. But, you know, at one point was playing the tier a lot and was doing very well. And very well may still have some of that in the back, even if he hasn't played it as much recently. So that about covers all the setup stuff. Let's get to it. It is the first match, so neither team can be eliminated here, but obviously you want to win the match for your team. Game 1, best of 3, ADV, Johnnyg2, and Leo. So we've got Meta on the bottom for Johnny and Salamence on the top for Leo. Neither one satisfied with the matchup, and we end up with Suicune on T-Tar after Milotic makes a brief cameo. Calm Mind is simply going to prompt in Bliss, and if this is a Crocoon, this is fine. If it's any other set, then this is probably not as fine. I guess like a bulky sub non-Rescoon that doesn't exist could also be fine here. But Calm Mind and Thunderbolt are the moves, and Johnny just playing it pretty simple. Calm Minding for days. There's the 4th one. Gonna boost up a bazillion times and see where the game goes. Calm Mind number 5, pretty boosted. And T-Wave comes down here. We saw Thunderbolt as well. Yeah, there you go. Just fish for a crit and get it. Easy peasy. No more Coon. Easy game, skill game, all that. So here is Meteor Mash coming down on Milo. And not to, skip over that because that crit was a big deal. A lot of the time, Milo teams in particular, and 4E teams, but Milo teams in particular have a very difficult time dealing with Suicune. Milo can't really do anything meaningful to it. You can toxic it, sure, but who cares? It just rests it away, and you can never boost along with it. You can never kill it with Surfs, whatever. So Milo teams are pretty easy to set up on in general. And this Bliss in particular, it's got T-Bolt, T-Wave, but I don't see S-Toss. I mean, he might still have it, but he didn't show it. I mean, presumably the last 2 moves are just Ice Beam, Soft Boiled, so he probably doesn't have S-Toss. So what happens is exactly what you saw. So the Milo can't do anything, and then once the Coon starts boosting up, the Blissey can't do anything other than fish for a crit, and your outs become find the crit, which is what happened, or force it to sleep and then go to like T-Tar or Metagross or whatever and force it out with a threat of a physical attack. Now, granted, we never got to see, because he just died to the crit before that. The only thing he showed was Kalmon. We never got to see whether it was Rest Hawk Coon or not. If it was Crow Coon, which is Rest Hawk Coon, then that makes it even more risky for Leo, because if he's going to try to scare it away with Metagross or T-Tar, every time he does that, he risks simply being outsped and hit with a Surf in the Coon's sleep, which would obviously, with that many boosts, just super duper kill the Meta or the Tar. So there is a world there, depending on both the set and the RNG, where the Coon just wins this game for Johnny, where it is legit just a 6-0 because of the Coon, and Leo just loses. That's obviously not the way that it played out. You do have several opportunities to fish for the Thunderbolt crit, so he's got 24 base on those after the PP ups or whatever, and then Coon obviously has pressure, so you get 12 of those, and then Leo's set had T-Wave as well, so theoretically you could put it down to where it just doesn't rest on a crucial turn, it's paralyzed, and then you sneak something else in, the T-Tar, the Meta, whatever, that can threaten it out while it's at, whatever, 30% and paralyzed, and you get rid of it that way. So there's a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda, but the way that the game played out, that crit took care of him, and now we've got a relatively even game after the Milotic dies as well. We now see that Johnny has opted for a Magdoll squad, and it looks like he's not going to find the matchup that he was looking for. Magdoll, generally considered a matchup fish against someone that you expect to be pretty TSS heavy, but as it turns out, Leo did not bring spikes this game. He's opted for still a TSS team, I guess minus one of the S's, still a kind of defensive, balanced sand team, but crucially, the things that you're trying to remove, spikes, Leo went ahead and removed that for you by not bringing them. Also, Meteor Mash, swing and a miss here. Magneton coming in. Wow. Just EQ again. Who booms? He just calls the Magneton and clicks EQ again. That one's simple. That one's just Johnny getting outplayed. That was Leo making a great play and Johnny falling into it. There's nothing you can do there but tip your cap to Leo. I don't hate Johnny's play, but he was just flat out soul red and outplayed on that turn. That was huge. And Leo is going to even the game up. Salament's apparently an issue for Johnny here. I mean, yeah, his only water was Coon, and I don't think it had Ice Beam. So Dragons are going to be a little more difficult than they would be on a different structure. Blissey probably has Ice Beam, and Claydol might have Ice Beam, but that's not that exciting even if it does. So there's Wish, full moveset revealed for Bliss. Going to try to pass it over to Doll. Going to eat a 57% Mash, so Mash is going to negate both Wish and lefties, but nevertheless it will prompt him out. Nothing preventing Leo from going to his own Doll, though. And it's got Shadow Ball, which super duper breaks the mirror match here. Nothing Johnny can do other than Boom that would do anywhere near as much as Shadow Ball is doing. But Boom is going to suffice in this case. The Dolls are going to trade, and they are left with the exact same three Pokemon. They're left with a Metagross, a Blissey, and a Salamence each, which is not something that you see very often. The Metas are going to trade, so now they have the same two Pokemon, but I believe Leo has the advantage here. Salamence seems difficult for Johnny to deal with. Hidden Power there, gone. End up with Mence on Mence. Gonna need some RNG here. Johnny gonna need to get some crits or some flinches or what have you. Rock Slide does, in fact, get the kill, but now he's gonna need a lot of get there with these subsequent Rock Slides. Yep, would have needed a flinch on the first turn no matter what, and then a follow-up crit or flinch in order to get there. That is not the way it went, and Leo is going to get it. There was some danger at the end there. Like I said, Johnny could have double flinched or flinched crit to get out of that. There was RNG throughout the game in a couple of key points, but when it mattered, the RNG went the way of Leo, and Johnny, probably considered the favorite in this matchup, you would think, given his back-to-back CI finishes, is going to be down game one. But these are best of three, And we are certainly not done yet, so let's go ahead and move over to Game 2 between Johnny and Leo. So Johnny's on the bottom, Leo's on the top. It's going to be a Mence and a Zapdos. The Intimidate actually matters here, because if the Zapdos were to baton pass out rather than switch out, he would take the Intimidate with him, which would have really mattered in that matchup, because that Boom would not have killed Skarmory had he been intimidated. But he did opt to switch out rather than BP out, and Johnny is going to opt to be a noob and stay in on the tower-on-tower match and get his instantly killed by Brick Break. So Johnny immediately, not even half a dozen turns into the game, 3 turns into the game, is going to be behind. I mean really behind. I think Johnny is like already, not like game over, but like, I don't know, man. It's like 80-20 already for Leo to win this game. Rock in a hard place for Johnny. He does land a Rock Slide here, which would have given him some cheese opportunities. Had he landed Crit, the Zapdos would have died. And Lax is going to come in for Leo. This looks like a very aggressive team. I think I know this squad. I think it's just Pert in the back, and I think this is just a really ham team. I think it's this is an old Roro squad, and I believe it is CB Tar and Endeavor Pert is the entirety of Leo's team here. Am I right? There's Pert. I think it's Endeavor. Like I said, this is a McMegan team, an older McMegan team. Yeah, I recognize this one. There it is, Substitute and Endeavor, which after just one substitute, the Endeavor brings Blissey down to 40%. That's how ridiculous her HP is to begin with. Got a Roar there, otherwise you never get through it. Magneton is taking a nap thanks to Spore, and he's going to try to surf it down, but Johnny obviously knows he has to go to Blissey. But you know, Johnny's options are fairly limited when you've only got 3 Pokemon. This went downhill very quickly for Johnny. I don't know how this matchup would have played out otherwise, but the Tar-on-Tar turn very early on, Johnny's just been fighting uphill the whole way since then. That turn really rocked him. I mean, he's only got himself to blame. I don't know why he didn't play it safe and go to Skarmory Pert or whatever. Done a little scouting there. He obviously had something that made him think it was worth staying in. Maybe he had his own non-CB Brick Break or something like that. We don't actually know. We saw nothing from the Tar. Could have been mixed and it could have gone for its own Brick Break or something, but he got rocked on that turn, and it's just really uphill from here. Leo did get an agility off. Who's going to be fast? T-Tar is going to be fast. So fast. Rock Slide. Well, there's T-Wave, but he might be able to lum it away. No, we know he's Choice Banded. Man, I'm making stuff up. And Rock Slide is going to miss through the para there. Johnny needs a little bit of a break. S-Toss, sure, hits the Pert, which is actually beneficial to the Pert. He's not going to be able to sub again after this, so this HP is what it is. Knocks him in Salic range. What are we going for? Going for Endeavor, of course. He's only got 8 Endeavors, and Johnny has more soft boils than that left. 10 of them, make that 9 of them. Gonna roar him out. Magneton, Endeavor down to 31. Would have been huge there to wake and get him, but odds not with him, and in fact, he does not wake. So Johnny down to 2 pokes. Intimidate not relevant here. Hey, Dragon Dance, gotta do what you gotta do. Leo obviously not allowing that with the Roar. Thunder Wave. And Roar, sure. Yeah, I mean, Johnny's only play here is to stall the Pert completely out of Endeavors, and that's what he's trying to do. Leo's always going to Roar against the Salamence. He's never, ever going to let it set up DD because he knows that that's Johnny's out in this situation. Endeavor and Soft-Boiled, sure. Johnny has more than 0 chance to get there with the DD Mence, but like I said, Leo is always going to Roar when the Mence is out. He's never going to allow a DD to stay. As you see. Here's Bliss again. 2 Endeavors left, it looks like. So this actually might take a minute. But he's always going to Roar in this matchup. And Johnny knows, and Johnny's had enough. So down it goes. CB Tar comes in, which will live a non-crit here, and the Rock Slide is obviously lethal levels of dangerous to the Mence. Gonna do a lot to the Bliss as well, who takes it relatively okay. She must be bold. I'm not sure why she didn't soft boil there, though. She kind of needed to. Aren't you fucked by Loom now? That might have been a punt for Johnny. I'm not clear why he didn't just soft boil there and fish for parrot or miss or whatever. Because now I think he's boned. I mean, Loom can just spore again here, right? And then what do? Hidden Power pops the sub, that's fine. But yeah, now Mence is asleep, and now you gotta wake up if you're Salamence, so you're absolutely fucked, right? The sub I'm not sure about. I think I would have gone back to T-Tower if I'm Leo. Because what can you even do behind the sub? You're going to leech seed him? You're going to focus punch him? But the Mence is never going to get anywhere, because even if he wakes, he's just going to get put back to sleep. Spore again? Yup. Leo knows. Yeah, I mean, the leech seeds aren't doing a ton of damage, but it's going to add up over time. This is really go nowhere for Johnny. Leo could sit here and just click Spore indefinitely, and there's nothing Johnny can do to prevent that. Focus Punch stays asleep. There's Focus Punch. Yeah, I think Johnny butchered the late game here. I don't understand throwing the Bliss because it set up this exact situation. I don't get why the Bliss didn't soft boil, because if you... Yeah, there's no way out of this. I mean, there's nothing. It became mindless for Leo at the end. It just, I guess Johnny didn't see it through to conclusion and didn't see that it was inevitably going to become this. But I think he really needed to stay in on the Tar and take his chances. I think he needed to click soft boiled and see where it goes. Hope that T-Tar misses Rock Slide, gets full parried, whatever it is. But as played, the outcome was pretty straightforward, and there wasn't any room there for Johnny to get lucky or make any kind of plays. It was just a straightforward back and forth. As long as Leo doesn't fuck up, it's always going to end this way, and Leo does not fuck up and gets the W. So this would, in the eyes of many, be considered an upset, but it is going to be Leo of Strawberry Soda hanging up that opening match win in the set between his team and the Sprinkles fan club of Johnnyg2. Johnny is playing alongside Sayuze. Is that how you pronounce it? Maybe? Sayuze, sorry. And TJ. And hopefully, for Johnny's sake, those guys can come through. But if Leo's teammates, Avarice or Phantos, if either one of them gets it done, then it's going to be Strawberry Soda through to the next round. Either way, hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and leave a like, a thumbs up, a click on the button on the left but not the right, if you would. If you do want to click a button on the right, you could go for the subscribe button. I don't have very many of those, and there's going to be a lot of videos from this tournament if you want to make sure you catch them, so I'd appreciate that as well. But either way, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video.